No, look at what's that? Come around.
Right. You got to wash it and a dry.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get on this Zoom meeting.
For the council?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like blueberry and strawberry?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I brought you some water.
So,
I tried it. I liked it. And it's healthy. It's got probiotics. I only bought you one of each to see if you tried it. We'll put it in your refrigerator.
okay. Let's see. No problem.
Hey, can y'all hear me fine?
I hear you, but I can't see you.
You don't need to see me, Mr. Larry. I can't see you.
I don't know. I'm going through, but I can't see anybody.
You had Jordan today. Because all is wore out.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hey, little man.
What's up?
Say hey. Say hey.
Hey, little man.
Say hey. he gets camera shy.
I hear you. I don't blame him.
I wonder where you get that from.
It ain't from his daddy.
No, it ain't from me. It's from his mama. Hey, Dr. Holmes.
Hello. I can't see y'all, but let me see.
We can see you.
You can see me? Oh, that's not a good thing. Yeah, wait a minute. I might not be cute yet. Hang on. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Okay, there you guys are. Hello.
You gotta make this picture come up. You gotta make this picture come up.
Here we go.
Sloan, Can you hear
Yes,
me?
ma'am. Yes,
Is that,
ma'am.
is that your son?
Yes.
What a cute
But he
shot.
see.
Hi.
You don't wave. Wave. Say, hey, Miss Shannon. You don't show your wave. She can't see
That's
you.
a good way.
You want cars? He don't know y'all can hear him. He's shy. He don't like to talk.
Yeah,
He's so cute, Sloan.
he is too cute.
Yeah, so I get that from my daddy.
I know that was a lie. I know you was gonna tell that lie.
Y'all have to excuse me. I am not at home. My sister's husband passed, so I'm at her house. So if you hear noise in the background, there's people out there. So please excuse the noise if you happen to hear something.
We're sorry. We're so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll let her know.
Gonna get down? All right, come on. We got 2 minutes, okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yellow. Color that's red.
Hi, Mayor Franklin.
How you doing, Dr. Holmes? Good to see you,
I'm
ma'am.
doing well. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm fine. Thank
Good.
you. Thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, no problem.
I'm trying to get to the Zoom on. You want to show my picture?
Where's that color?
Tap on it, it's not lit, it comes up and says video. He's on the phone.
Mr. Williamson, you ready?
Yes, sir. I believe we have everyone here.
Okay, we'll get started then. I'll call to order the Blythewood Town Council monthly meeting. Today is Monday, August 23rd. The time is now 7 p.m. And Mr. Williamson, is Ms. Cowan on or?
Yes, I am.
Oh, very well, Ms. Cowan. I'll ask Ms. Cowan to conduct roll call, please.
Mayor Franklin,
I'm here.
Councilman Eddie Bauman,
Present.
Councilman Griffin,
Here.
Donald Brock,
I am virtually present.
Councilman Sloan.
Present.
All right, and Ms. Cowan, was the notification and posting of the meeting agenda completed in accordance with state law?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Gentlemen, before you is tonight's agenda. I'll be looking for a motion to approve. I will have asked for one One change, the proclamations tonight, I would rather do that in person with families present. So I would ask to remove those tonight until a further meeting, if that suit your needs. Over.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Griffin, sir.
Yes, sir. I notified you earlier today under the appointment A category there, section 5, appointment A, about Mr. Coleman. Do you want to postpone that one, or I'm not sure how to move on that?
Okay, yeah, we can, that's a good recommendation. I recommend we remove the proclamations. We'll postpone those, and also the appointment of Mr. Coleman, if that suit the council.
Good with me.
Any other changes, recommendations?
I can understand postponing the appointment, what are those things called?
Proclamations.
Yeah, those. Why would we delay the appointment any further?
He expressed a interest to have his family present when he was appointed.
Fair enough. Second.
It's been probably motioned and seconded to approve tonight's agenda as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved. Thank you. Let's join Councilman Eddie Ballman for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, if you would, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If y'all will join me in prayer. Our Father and our God, I just come to you this evening giving you thanks for who you are. And Father, I do thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us. Father, I just ask your presence here in this meeting. Father, but I ask your hand of guidance and your hand of protection and your hand of healing on our town. Father, I pray for our staff. I pray for our men and women in uniform. Father, I pray for the first responders on the front line right now. And Father, I do lift up a special prayer for Afghanistan and Haiti. I just ask you to be with those people during this time of the strife that both countries are going through right now. So Father, I just ask you to guide and direct all we say and do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, sir. Now we'll move right into council members' remarks. We'll begin with Councilman Larry Griffin.
Yes, good afternoon. Glad everybody's here. Dr. Holmes, glad you were able to join us tonight. Everybody knows that schools is back in, and the traffic is as bad as the schools is wide. I tell you, we got a real situation here. I also want to say, I want to make sure we give congratulations to Mr. Cecil Mosley, who will be retiring next month. He's put in a lot of years of good service here, and just want him to know that we really appreciate the service he's given us. Other than that, back to you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. A little bit broken there, but I think we got most of that. We will move now to Councilman Donald Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks everyone for being here. Second, what Councilman Baldwin said in his prayers to those in Haiti and Afghanistan. It's a mess over there, and pray for our troops and everyone to get home safe. I'll also echo what Councilman Larry Griffin said about Cecil Mosley. He is retiring, if people didn't know that, although I have also been told that he will make his presence felt as an attendant at the manor. At least I believe that's his plans at some point. So it'll be sad to lose him, but he'll just shift over and help the town out in other ways. Just wanted to mention one thing. I don't know how many people frequent the Nextdoor app. There apparently was an incident in Cobblestone where a young man was walking down the street and he essentially was harassed for being in his own neighborhood. If anyone wants to go read about it, it's on there. The only thing I want to say is that it just, as a town and as a community, we're better than that. And if individuals aren't causing any problems, and there's no reason to bother, harass, or any other mess with them any other way, let's just let people do what they do and be what they be, and just be a nice, fun, happy community. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Sloan Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council, and thank you, special guests on tonight and the viewers watching us live on YouTube. I echo my fellow council members, Cecil. Personally, sir, thank you for always listening, and thank you for the many advice and moments that you have personally given to me. So I know you won't be far. You'll be still with us and helping us grow this town to the next tier. I have a lot of remarks, but I'm going to save some for September. But I do want to give a special shout out to John and Teresa Edwards over at Blythewood Cigar and Wine. They celebrated their 2nd year anniversary all this past weekend with live bands, and a lot of people from all over the country came out to visit. A lot of big prestigious cigar bars and lounges, even from Atlanta with Cam Newton's bar. So it's very glad to have them as part of the Blythewood family there. Mr. Mayor, with that being said, I'll save the rest of my updates for more in person. I'll yield my time.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Eddie Ballman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. Just wanted to welcome Dr. Holmes and thank you for your presence here tonight. I appreciate it. We're just looking forward to hearing what you have to say and getting some guidance from you on how we move forward with, what we're facing here as a community and in this school district. So thank you for taking the time with the loss in your family to be here and just to share with us tonight. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Anytime, no problem.
And Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to give a shout out to the local VFW again. They had their Veterans Breakfast on Saturday. It was well attended. They do a Veterans Breakfast every 3rd Saturday of the month. And it's open to all veterans and their families, free of charge. It's been well attended. So I think that's going really well. Just wanted to give them a shout out and thank them for what they do. I know they got a lot of events coming up. So I think we can go through with that, but I'll just be brief. And I just want to thank you and thank everybody for putting this on tonight. And I thank everybody for attending.
All right, thank you. That brings me to the mayor's remarks. I will be brief. We've all spoken about Cecil Mosley retiring. He's still going to be around. He's assured me he's going to continue to assist the town of Blythewood, but he will leave officially. Trying to put together a ceremony. He's very stubborn. He does not want to be recognized, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a little ceremony for him and all the employees to wish him farewell in an official manner. The next iteration of Movies in the Park's coming up this coming weekend. So remind your neighbors and friends. That's always a good time for kids. And as school kicks off, get them out there one last time. To celebrate and have a good time together. Labor Day is coming up, long weekend for many folks. So I'll remind you, please be safe. If you're going to be out in the weather, make sure you use sunscreen, drink lots of water. As you travel, please travel safely to see your family and friends and just watch out for each other during Labor Day. And then lastly, the comment I have is the October 1st and 2nd will be the next Oktoberfest in Doco Meadows. So please put that on your calendar. Always a great event. This year it will be Friday and Saturday. So a lot more fun packed into that weekend. Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, we'll start the Saturday portion where we do our 2nd annual Volks March. And we walk around the entire community, check in with every shop owner, meet the general managers and owners of our local businesses, and a great opportunity for you to get your family and friends out there and support local business, and then come back to the park. And 10 a.m. we start the music and the festivities. So look forward to seeing you all there. It's always a good turnout. And thank you, Dr. Holmes, again for being here. We always appreciate it. We know you're busy, and the town of Blythewood really appreciates your service and what you're doing for our school district.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. With that, council members, we have minutes before you, the town council meeting, July 26, 2021, as well as the town council special call meeting. I will be asking for a motion to approve those minutes pending any changes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned and seconded to approve the town council minutes of July 26, as well as the special call meeting of August 2nd. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Thank you. We go to part 3 tonight, or the change, it would be part 2, discussion items, measures to slow the spread of COVID-19 in Richland 2 schools, with a presentation by Dr. Teresa Holmes, the chair of Richland 2 Board of Trustees. Ma'am, with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, good evening. It's good to see you all. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to come. I don't really have a presentation. What I prefer to do is, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of information circulating around there. So I would prefer if you had direct questions. For those of you who do not know me, and some of you that do know me, you will find that I'm pretty much a straight shooter. It is what it is. So if you ask me, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on and what we're doing about it. And we're just going to keep it moving from there. So at this time, if there's any specific questions that you have or any specific concerns, please, I'd rather do it that way. Now, I know y'all have some concerns because y'all been blowing up my phone and emailing me. So what's your concerns?
Dr. Holmes.
Yeah.
Councilman Sloan Griffin, you know, we have had extensive conversations, and I think you answered my general questions. You know, we're dealing with the same thing. I just want to take this moment to also just thank you for what you and the board are doing to protect our children. I know you're in between a rock and a hard place, as grandma would say. But I know you all have the best interests of the students at heart. And I commend you guys for doing that hard job at this moment. So I'll pause, as I know a few of my council members have questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Dr. Holmes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is Larry Griffin.
Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm doing fine. The
Good.
question I got is, can you give us an enlightenment on the district standpoint with the mask?
Yes, basically, as you know, the city of Columbia gave the schools in Richland School District 1, for an example, the ordinance that gave them the max ordinance for the schools. That's what they did. We did not have that with county council at first. So we urged county council to give us that same type of coverage. So in the event that we had to get that kind of coverage, we could do the mask. And this is important because this is something that's been going around, and we just kind of need to clear this up. When we had the mask ordinance the first time, we all were like, we have to follow the law, we have to follow the law, we have to follow the law. And then when this came back around, no one expected us to be back in the situation that we're quite in right now, because we had a vaccination and we thought we were seeing a little bit of sunshine with that. But unfortunately, that is not the case. We're kind of back where we were. So we went to the county council. We asked, can you please give this to us in the event that we have to go back to what we were? Now I'm a 35-year educator, and I worked in a school that was open during the whole COVID time. So I was there. So I'm not talking to you from a standpoint of I'm just talking about it. I was actually working in it. And I'm telling you, it was scary and it's tough. But I know that most parents do not in this district. Now, other districts have different viewpoints. But from what we're hearing, most parents do not want to go back to all virtual. They just do not want to do that. We don't think it's academically sound for the children to go back to all virtual. I've seen it in my own school where I work. There's a loss of learning. There's a loss of socialization, but we don't want children to be sick and die either. So the first line of defense is to urge everybody to please get the vaccination. We at Richland School District 2, we have offered the vaccination to every teacher in our district. They have been offered the vaccination for free. We did that before the start of school. All children 12 and up are eligible to get the vaccination, which would stop a lot of the spread. The biggest concern that we're having is for the children that are 12 and below, they are not even eligible to get a vaccination. So that's the population that the ordinance speaks about. And we're trying to not pull that out. So here's where we are now. If we were just to go and do math, then we're kind of hypocritical, because then we're put back in the situation of, are we breaking the law or are we not breaking the law unless county council gave us the same kind of coverage that they gave the city? So county council stepped up.
District 2, Teresa Holmes or something.
Yes.
She's on the board.
Mute
Yes.
your line, Steve. Mute your line.
Oh, I thought it was asking the question. Okay, no, what I was saying was, when we did that in county council, thank goodness, they were so helpful. They stood up, we went to their meeting, and they did pass that in the event we get into emergency situation, because we're not gonna let children just, like Kershaw County, that's a major situation. But anyway, having said that, we decided in Richland School District 2 to take it a step further, because we do actually want to be within the wherefore all of the law. But what is the law? County council, city council, or the governor's law? So we've decided, okay, we're gonna let the Supreme Court figure this out. We're gonna let them figure this out. Forget all the middlemen, because we're never gonna satisfy everybody on this issue. So let's just let the courts take it, let them mandate what we're going to do. And in the event we do get into, now we've only been back in school for approximately 3 or 4 days now, somewhere around in there. So if we get into the situation where COVID is just too rampant, then we do have the protection of county council law, and we'll figure something out, because we're just not going to let it get out of hand. But our attorneys have urged us to stay within the law, let them decide, since we brought the suit. So basically, we're asking parents to please bear with us. We are taking action on this. We want to do this the right way. We're taking it not just for our school district, but for the other districts that are having the same issue. Now, having said that, as a parent, which I was a parent, and like I said, I'm an educator, I was a teacher, guidance counselor, administrator, I've done all that. So I've been there, did that, done that. You as a parent are still your child's first line of defense. If you want your child to wear a mask to school, you send your child with a mask to school and you tell them to keep it on if you're uncomfortable with that, until we can get to a point where we can decide this. But now, being proactive as a district, I want everybody to hear me, because if in fact we get to numbers that are egregious, we are in the process of working on a plan that we would have to, of course, take care of the children. Because at the end of the day, it's not about politics. It's not about who's right, who's wrong, this or that. And especially not for somebody like me, like I said, a 35-year educator. It's about the children. It's about the people that work there. It's about the teachers. It's about the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers. It's about everybody. So that's why we decided, forget this. We just take it to the Supreme Court and see what happens. Questions?
Dr. Holmes.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Councilman Brock.
Hey, Brock, how you doing?
I'm good, Teresa. How are you?
Good.
All right, my first question is, do you have an update on the injunction that was filed on Friday?
Not as of yet. We just filed it. There's no current, well, there may be, but I have not received it yet. So I can't say exactly where we're at with that, but it has been filed.
Okay, my second question is, does the proviso in the state's budget allow for partial mask use in school?
The one that they passed was basically, I know the city one that they passed is basically for the elementary schools, because that's the population that the 12 below that I was talking about earlier, that's the population that it targeted. I saw the one that county council passed, but please excuse me, but I've had a death in my family, so I've been kind of not quite up on that as I should be, but I think they basically mirrored the same proviso, if I'm correct. But do not quote me on that. Let's check that out.
No, that's not my question. My question is,
What question?
It seems that Richland 2 is kind of picking and choosing where they want to enforce a mask requirement and not. And the reason I say that is I know that you're requiring masks on buses. I know that you're requiring masks in health rooms and those type situations. I know that all visitors are required to wear masks. So my question is, how can you essentially partially require masks? Hold on. Sorry, I'll take a contact. You partially require a mask, but not fully. It's almost like either the state proviso says that you can't use public funds to. Sorry.
It's okay.
The state, it's my understanding the state proviso. Oh my gosh. Hey, hold on one second. Somebody else has to.
Okay. I think I'm going to answer your first part of your question like this. The buses and the health rooms, that's pretty much from the state. That's not from individual school district. That came from the state. So we're not picking and choosing and doing that. That's pretty much state mandated. I guess Brock left me.
Probably had to take that phone call, but I just want to, I want to commend you though for what you're doing. I mean, we've beat this around the bush and talked about doing one ourselves and knowing what was going on with the y'all filing the injunction, and instead of muddying the waters, we want to see where this goes to before we do anything in town.
Thank you so much, and I hope that we took a bold step because I am really a person. I do not want to be, I'm not a hypocritical person. If you say you're going to follow the law on one hand, when it's in your favor, you're following the law. But then when it's not in your favor, you're not going to follow the law. I kind of have an issue with that. I want to know what is the law, because I think that it's important for your integrity to try to do what is right. Now, having said that, now I am a 30-something. I've been a teacher in the classroom, a guidance counselor, a school administrator, cheerleading coach, prom pageant director. I've done everything you can do in a school. So I understand, and I know these teachers are worn out. So I understand what is really going on with that. And we're going to try to do everything we can without trying to bring it all the way back to where it was. But here's the thing. It's about children. We can't let children get sick. We can't, then that's a different conversation. But the conversation that we're having right now is that we're taking a step. We're going to try to do something about it. We've only been back a few days. Give us a minute. Trust us a minute. And let's see what happens. Now, having said that, if the cases get, like I said, ridiculous, now I don't care what anybody says, we're going to take care of children. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, I told you I'm a pretty straight shooter, so it is what it is. What else you got?
That's awesome. I appreciate that. We really do. I think everybody on this council is for our children, for the protection of, our administrators, our teachers, our parents, everybody involved here. Because it's not just what goes on in school. It goes on in school, it comes home. So you got to protect everybody.
And then think about these children that go home to people like their grandparents. There's a lot of people in our community that their children stay with their grandparents. It is so, people don't understand, a lot of people don't understand the nuances. This is so complex. This is so intricate that you cannot, and I know it's an emotional situation, but emotions do not solve problems. You have to let your cooler head prevail, work the steps, do what you need to do it honestly, do it fairly, work your steps. I know one side is tolerant, this and that, but you can't, if you're gonna lead, you can't lead with Kool-Aid in your blood. You gotta just do what you gotta do. Work your steps. So that's all y'all got right now. I'm a work a step girl. That's all you got.
Well, thank you.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Holmes, thank you for everything. I mean, thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for the proactive steps you're taking. I thank you for waiting. I thank you for just following the law, following what you can, but also being bold enough to take action if you have to take action.
Well, it's not just me, because I don't want y'all, oh, Dr. Holmes take it. No. It is the board. It is our bold superintendent, Dr. Davis. We are a collective, but we have sound voices, and mine is probably the loudest, one of the loudest. So we're going to do this. We're just going to do what we need to do. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dr. Holmes, I do have one question, and
yes, who am I talking to?
Councilman Sloan Griffin.
Hey, Sloan, I should know your voice. Yes,
you
Sloan.
should know me by now. But you know, just not to go back and forth, because I mean, we all thank you guys 100 times over for everything that you all are doing. I just have some simple questions on like verbiage. There's a lot of communication out there, as you just stated in your opening comments. Like mass use, is mass being strongly suggested, you know, from that verbiage standpoint in the schools?
Yes.
Or is it just no sign, no nothing, you know?
No, it's being strongly suggested. And that's why I've said it at, I did another council, a town council with Darryl Jackson's church. I've said it at our board meeting. It's on my Facebook. I've said it before, but here's the biggest key. As a parent, you have the right, if you want your child to wear a mask to school 24/7, that's your right as a parent. Tell your child to wear the mask. And yes, we are strongly suggesting it, because again, we're trying to let this thing work so we can get clarity, not just for Richland School District 2, but for everybody. So that's where we're at.
So, and then my second question, since you're strongly suggesting masks, if I was a student, you know, my son is not of that age yet, let's use him, but if he was in school in the 2nd grade and he went to the teacher and said, teacher, I want a mask, are they available like that for a student to get if they ask for one?
Oh yeah, now the state is not going to give us any money for it. Y'all already know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
That's part of taking away your money. We're going to hold your money hostage. So, but we don't care anything about that. If your baby needs a mask, your baby will get a mask.
Okay.
We're going to do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And the other thing too, let me throw this out there, because in case I have some of my teachers watching, let me let y'all know, because this is out of what y'all can control, it is that we're going to give you back those 10 days so you don't have to use your sick time. We don't want you to use your sick time if you have to go to quarantine. We're going to give you back those 10 days. I want all my educators, all my bus drivers, all my custodians, I want y'all to hear that. We're giving y'all that back. Some districts are not, but we are. Anything else? What else you got? I'm ready.
Dr. Holmes, I've satisfied my technology issue.
Okay, Brock.
I'm glad you brought up the states threatening to strip funding from the school district.
Yeah.
You say you're a straight shooter, okay?
Absolutely. What you got?
If you chose to enforce or adhere to the Richland County ordinance and require masks for students 12 and under in daycares, child care facility, that doesn't really apply to you, but do you really think the General Assembly would strip your funding?
I can't answer that, Brock. I'm not in the General Assembly. How can I answer something about that? But let me ask you this. Let me turn around and ask you the question. If part of that funding is part of teacher salary, are you going to take a chance on people not getting paid? I'm not willing to do that.
Okay. I disagree because I don't think they will.
But now, Brock, one thing about you and I, we're gonna be friends after. We were friends for this conversation, and we're gonna be friends after this conversation.
We are.
Let me tell y'all something. We all can agree to disagree.
That's
we're
fine.
We're gonna all do what we think is right, and I'm not gonna be mad at anybody who does what they think is right. Follow your true path, and I'm gonna follow mine.
No, you're right. We're buddies before, and we'll be buddies after. We will disagree on that.
We're good.
We will disagree on that one.
Right. I'll take that.
Well, I want to just say one more thing here, Dr. Holmes. This is Councilman Baltman again. And I really want to commend Councilman Sloan Griffin for his involvement in this thing all the way back to last year when he procured like 50,000 masks and 50,000 bottles of sanitizer. And through him and through Steve Hasterock, where it's stored over there, we offered the schools, and I even took about 30 cases of sanitizer, even to outside of town. Some went to Lake Carolina Upper. Because we offered it, and before school started, we got together and started taking it and distributing this stuff to the schools. So, and we wanted to offer masks if we have them in case so an educator doesn't have to come out of pocket to buy a child a mask that doesn't come to school with one if they want one. So just know that through his work, we do have masks and sanitizer.
Okay, well, let's do this. We can listen. I'm all about the partnerships. That's one thing. As you know, I'm the newly elected chair, and I'm new at this, so I might make some mistakes. But one thing I'm really big on is bringing the community back into the school. That's really important to me. So let's try to get a little partnership together. Y'all come to the board meeting. Tell me when you want to come. Bring your mask. We'll do it whatever we need to do, because I love that. Because that's important. Like I said, now I'm an educator, so anything. And I told y'all I was a cheerleading coach, so I'm always.
Well, I just really wanted to give a shout out to you and to Sloan Griffin, Councilman Griffin, for what he did to procure all that stuff for us in the town.
Sloan, and thank y'all. But y'all come on to the board meeting and present it to us so we can give it to some of those teachers who want to maybe keep those things in the classroom. I'd love to do that. Let's make a plan on that.
Thank you, Councilman Ballman, for that shout out. Team Blythewood, that's how I looked at it, and that's how I'm going to continue to look at it. We need to do our best to protect us and our family and extended family. You're right. We delivered so much in town and so much out of town, to include the churches. That's the lifeblood of our community. We can reach the church, we can reach the school. So thank you, Dr. Holmes, for your hard work and dedication to this. That's the only thing I got left for you. God bless you, and God bless the board, and Godspeed to each and every one of you.
Well, thank y'all so much. Now, I'm your neighbor. I live right down the street. I live in Blythewood, so and I'm a Spring Valley grad, so I went to the other side of town to go to school. But I am a Blythewood person. I live down the street. Now, y'all, my phone number is available. I talk to anybody. I'm available. I do not want to be the kind of chair that's untouchable. I don't believe in that. Just talk to me. Again, now understand that sometimes we're going to agree and disagree, but we still gonna be all right after we do that. So thank y'all for having me. I appreciate you. If you ever need anything from me, please just let me know. I really do want to follow up on the mask thing. If it's something that you think you want to do and bring them to the board, or give it to teachers in Blythewood High School or the Bethlehem, any of the schools that are local, please let me know, because I would love to be a part of that. I just retired, so I got time on my hands. I got time to play and time to have fun and time to work. So I'm ready.
Well, good. Go Vikings. We got a lot of Viking grads on this council.
Yes, Spring Valley all day long. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the board. Everybody's school is wonderful.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Holmes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Holmes.
And condole.
You need anything, you call on us, Dr. Holmes. We appreciate you.
I sure will. Y'all just invite me to some stuff. I'd love to come.
Oktoberfest.
Okay, I'll be there. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. You also.
All right, we'll move on to part B tonight. Good conversation there with our chairwoman of the Richland 2 trustees. And we'll move to the 2020 census, Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just got the results, the official results of the 2020 census, and as you can see in the memo, the huge jump in population for the town of Blythewood jumped up to 4,772, a 134.6% increase. And not only that, but the surrounding 29016 also saw a huge jump. And so, Mr. Mayor, you long advocated for this area and the resources from Richland County to be focused in this area. So this agenda item is just an opportunity for discussion among council members about how to address the county council to gather some of those resources in this area. You're on mute, Mayor.
Sorry, thank you. This is the basis. These are the facts that we use when we go forward with any government and we discuss needs of Blythewood. In the past, it's just, yeah, everybody has a need. Yeah, everybody wants a new park. But when you break down the zip code data, which is what I use, I don't use the town of Blythewood because I describe it as a cat eye. The zip code is a big circle and Blythewood is just a small slither in the center of the circle. People who live outside of Blythewood limits, but inside the zip code are Blythewoodians, in my opinion. They come here, their kids play in the parks, they come to town hall, they come to Duck Oak Meadows and eat in the restaurants and get gas, so on and so forth. So Sloan took this information and presented it to the public, and it sparked a huge conversation, which was good. And this is the data that Mr. Williamson pulled together, the Blythewood, the Richland County population, the state. So when we go forward and ask for resources, we're not just another municipality saying, representative or senator, can you give us money because we deserve it because we're great people? That's not the case. The fact is that we're the second largest growing municipality in the state of South Carolina. And as a matter of fact, Mr. McHenry, from the chairman of the Planning Commission, said we're the third largest in a two-state region, according to his studies, North Carolina and South Carolina. So clearly you have the growth right here centered in Blythewood, South Carolina, and we're not getting the resources, in my opinion. Or at least they're not proportional. So when you talk traffic, and we're sitting in the traffic every morning when those kids get dropped off at BHE and Muller Road and the two high schools, and you talk to somebody who's in elected office and you say, we really need your support, you need to have these numbers in your hand when you talk to them, because you can prove the rapid growth rate of Blythewood and surrounding areas with these census numbers and the fact that we have not been keeping pace with roads. That's why we're behind the curve. We have not been keeping pace with recreation facilities. And our schools are barely, and I know Dr. Holmes just left us, the schools are barely keeping up, because if you look at the two high schools, go by there one afternoon and look at the overflow parking, these kids, parents dropping them off, kids not having places to park because there are so many of them. We're already outpaced. Blythewood already has those buildings, portable buildings in the back. BHE's got them all next to the lunchroom. I mean, the bottom line is we've expanded so fast, nobody predicted it. And now we have we're overpopulating our schools and our roads, and we need help. So when we continue to dialogue with these elected officials, when we have our recreation meeting in the coming weeks, and we talk to these people, the key decision makers, we will have this to give them, to show them the growth of Blythewood, and it's serious. What you'll have is you'll have overpopulation, you'll have schools that have crowded classrooms, you won't be able to keep up with hiring teachers. Couple that with COVID-19 crisis issues, resurgence, and now you have a mess on your hands here, right here in hometown Blythewood. So I would just ask you to take this data, send it to everybody you know, and talk to them about our population compared to others, and why would you not agree that an area that quadruples its growth needs quadruple the resources to keep up with that growth? So having said that, I'll pause for any other comments you might have.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Sloan Griffin.
Go ahead, sir, please.
Okay. No, you hit it dead on the nail with this one. This is what I've been using as a base of conversation with other elected members. And it gets the attention because I don't think no one has horned into the amount of growth in our area, period. I think they just see an overall growth because you drive down the road every day and you see more vehicles, or you assume that, it's a special event. We all know when school come in, it's going to be traffic eventually. I think it's just something in our minds, but I don't think that in some of the conversations I have had with other local officials on the county level, they see it, they live here. And I think that's a good thing because they are experiencing that every day. So they already have in mind what's the need. But when you go up to the state house level, it kind of gets a little bit misconstrued a little bit. And definitely when I have engaged our federal elected officials, Senator Tim Scott and Senator Lindsey Graham, just recently Lindsey Graham the other day, as I alerted you about, he has no idea that Blythewood has this amount of growth. So, I think this data is very important when we're trying to leverage those dollars, those 30, 40, or $100 million road projects, not just to get it from the penny tax, but to get it from our federal counterparts as well, because South Carolina will be getting some of that money off of the infrastructure bill. Where do they spend it? So we need to make sure that, we, as we talked about pulling the wagon, all of us need to be going in the same direction. And I think this is a great guideline to keep us moving in the same direction. And before I close, sir, the August the 26th meeting that I emailed everyone about is of that such. This is the data that we shall be using for the August the 26th. And if you guys missed it, is at 7 p.m. at the Manor. We will have our state house officials that represent Blythewood there. That's part of the Richland County Recreation Commission delegation. We'll have Senator Scott, Representative Garvin, County Councilman Derek Pugh, as well as County Councilwoman Jessica Mackey, and also the Executive Director for Park and Rec, as well as just today, Ms. Singleton, which is a board member for Park and Rec. She will be there as well. So we need to make sure that we on par, that, not only that we step up to this meeting and give them the data, give them our outlook plan, but we also want to make sure our stakeholders in the various sports that Blythewood so dear love, at least have a representative there to shine some light on what's really needed. With that being said, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that time.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from the council? Okay, move to part C, traffic concerns, which fits right into this. Same numbers, same statistics. I was going to propose, I know Dr. Holmes left, that's fine. She's very reachable though. We can reach right back out to her. Ask the school district if they could provide some more of the traffic control in and around BHE and Muller Road. I know they do have the guard that stands there every morning, but I think they need them out right where the intersection of Blythewood and Boney Road, possibly even further down at the four-way stop, which we're going to make four-way right by the car wash, just to make sure the traffic flows smoothly. I wish I was in person. I was going to hand you out a sketch. There's an area right outside of Councilman Brock's neighborhood, Oakhurst. People come out of his neighborhood and they used to drive straight across because they didn't want to turn and go around the loop. If we made that an actual road there, then in the future, people could drop their kids off and then come out and make a left and go out Oakhurst back to Highway 21, as opposed to coming all the way back around Boney Road and creating the huge traffic problems. I mean, we probably need a professional to do a study and come up with some ideas, but if you just queue the queuing process that engineers call it, and then you alternate the traffic patterns, it'll go faster. If you had another outlet, like another little road there, possibly, that's just one idea, to let the folks have another way to go instead of having to sit in that traffic and back up everything. It potentially could help. I know they're expanding. When I say they, SCDOT has the plan to expand Blythewood Road to 4 lanes all the way down, but that's not helping us right now. And so any other ideas you might have, and if we can get those in front of the decision makers as soon as we can, because this is tough. It's always tough the first 2 weeks because everybody wants to take their kid to school the first 2 weeks of school, and then they start letting them ride the bus and some other things, but we have COVID concerns. So I think that's why a lot more parents are taking their kids as opposed to years past. But it's tough. I was in it this morning, and we just got to come up with some solutions and get them in front of some decision makers to see. And with that, I'll turn that over to your comments. Over.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Sloan Griffin.
Go ahead, sir.
Do we have any updates on the penny tax projects? Have we received anything back from Richland County yet on the status?
Williamson?
I have not heard anything from, I got an update recently from Mr. McKenrick on that, but I can get one.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And my last question, Mr. Mayor, is that land that you're talking about, is that owned by RCRC? You muted.
I believe it is. I believe that whole lot is part of Richland County Rec Commission.
Okay.
It is.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other comments?
Hey, one last comment, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Mayor, would it be possible when Mr. Williamson gets the update on the status, would it be possible to see, because the other problem is down Blythewood Road in Cert Mill, to see if we can get them to do another red light study?
Absolutely. Yep. Mr. Williamson, can you do that and then send us a status update, please?
Yes, that's a red light study at Blythewood Road and Surf Mill.
Mill, right. Yeah.
Is
That
that
traffic back down Terminal Road too, due to the school traffic.
Yes, I'll do that.
Muted, Mr. Mayor.
Keep hitting the wrong button. Thank you, sir. We'll move to the action items tonight. And if you're contacted by any citizen that wishes to speak during one of these items, just let us all know so we can get them, allow them to speak and voice their opinion. So we'll move to Part A, the first reading, ordinance 2021.010, discussion and approval of an ordinance to adopt a revised business license ordinance in accordance with the Business License Standardization Act, which is 2020 Act number 176. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Y'all have been getting as many emails from the municipal association as I have. You know that this is a hot topic for them because they've taken on the responsibility of getting all the cities and towns in the state to adopt a standardized business license in accordance with the General Assembly's Act 176, Standardized Business License Standardization Act. So we have been working on this since I got here, and Ms. Cowan has done an enormous amount of job getting to this point, which has been a lot of making sure that as things change, that nothing changes in terms of rates, or if they do, we take action. But in this particular case, the ordinance, there will be no changes to any rates as part of the adoption of this ordinance. But what it will do is it will have a standardized date across the state of when business licenses are due. Right now, they are scattered across the entire calendar, and this is just a mandate by the state. And this is the final step, is to get this model ordinance passed. And what it'll do is when you have second reading of this ordinance, it will repeal the current ordinance and replace it with the one that's attached in your agenda. With that, staff recommends approval of the first reading of this ordinance.
Okay. With that, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the first reading.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
So move.
Been probably motion seconded to approve the first reading of ordinance 2021.010, revised business license ordinance in accordance with the Business License Standardization Act 2020, Act number 176. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The first reading passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Move to Part B tonight, the second reading of ordinance 2021.009, discussion and approval of an ordinance to amend section 10.99 of the Code of Ordinances titled Penalty. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the second reading about a revision to the penalty section of town's ordinance, which would give the town some flexibility when it came to enforcing some penalties when there's violations of the ordinance. We discussed, nothing has changed since what we discussed in the first reading.
Any further debate? I'll be looking for a motion to approve the second reading.
I make that motion.
Second.
Been probably moved and seconded to approve the second reading of ordinance 2021.009 to amend this section 10.99 of the Code of Ordinances titled Penalty. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen. Part C tonight, discussion and approval of a subdivision bond agreement for Abney Hills Estates, Phase 3. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we haven't had, I don't believe, in recently had bonds from subdivisions, but as a requirement in our ordinance that all bond agreements get approved by town council. So this is something that where, if you're not familiar with it, the Planning Commission approves the preliminary plat, and they get a construction permit to go out there and build houses and build roads and infrastructure. And then they get to a point where they're ready to sell houses, but they haven't completed all the infrastructure. So they put up a bond, and so that's required. They have taken the bond estimate of what they will do and taken that to Richland County, and Richland County will eventually be maintaining these roads and infrastructure. So it's important for them to review it, although the town ultimately will own it, Richland County will maintain it. And so Richland County has approved what they put as the estimate, and then the requirement is for the developer to put up 125% of that amount. So that is what you see here. Is they put up 125% of the estimate for Phase 3 of Abney Hills Estates for the roads and infrastructure. And so they provided us a check with that, and we will have that in trust and hold that until either they complete the work to Richland County satisfaction, and we give them the check back, or they don't complete it, and then we have the funds to complete it ourselves. So that's the gist of how this bond works. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Pretty cut and dry. Any comments, council members?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Sloan Griffin.
Go ahead, sir.
If I had a little break up there, but Mr. Williamson, you did say that if the builder, for some reason backs out, this money will cover to complete the roads. Did I hear that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Okay. Pending any further questions or comments, be looking for a motion to approve the.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been probably motion second to approve the subdivision bond agreement for Ebony Hills Estates Phase 3. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The agreement is consented to. Thank you. Moving to Part D tonight, resolution number 2021.002, discussion and approval of a resolution designating an authorized representative and contact person for purposes of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Mr. Williamson.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a request from the Municipal Association, again, trying to get all the cities and towns in line and prepared, that particularly these are the non-entitlement cities that are less than 50,000 in population, prepared to receive the ARP funds. And this is a resolution to designate who the authorized representative and contact person is for each town that's requested by the Department of Administration. So we're just following along with what the Municipal Association has recommended with this resolution.
Right. And since you have continuity, I will nominate Mr. Williamson to be our appointed person. He also has the title of town administrator. So any comments?
Sir.
Please, sir, go ahead.
No, sir. I was just making a motion to approve as recommended.
Okay, sorry.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to nominate Mr. Williamson to be authorized representative and contact persons for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Any further discussion?
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Please, go ahead, sir.
What does this appointment authorize him to or not to do?
Okay, so if you look at, would you like me to answer that, Mr. Mayor?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I can see it. Go right ahead.
Okay, so there you see on the screen, it spells it out. And can you read all that? It's authorized to direct all things necessary, including signing documents, make certifications, make regular reports to council, and act on behalf of the municipality to receive and expend funds pursuant to the ARP.
With council's blessing?
Absolutely. I will keep council up to date on everything that happens here. We can schedule regular reports, but certainly.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to echo what Councilman Donald Brock. There are plenty of these meetings going on, and the Municipal Association is keeping everybody that wants to know in the know. And they're doing a great job. I've been to plenty of the meetings at the State House about the ARP funds, just so that I'm well educated on it, because we are behind the curve right now on receiving that money. Your bigger municipalities have already received their what they're called their first, not a lump sum is a name, but it's the first lump sum. As the last meeting I attended, I did hear that the Department of Administration really preferred that the town administrators or city managers, just for continuity, and it's just for everyday communication. But we as council would have to later on put together projects, and we may have to submit those projects. But Mr. Williamson would definitely get that information if they choose to go that route.
And I had, we will have a budget amendment that will address how the money will be spent.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. With that, I'll be looking for a motion to approve.
I make that motion.
Second.
It's been probably motion and seconded to approve Mr. Williamson to be the contact persons for purposes of American Rescue Act. Any further conversation? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen. And part E tonight, discussion and approval of funding for outside agency, the Christian Assistance Bridge. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is following along with last meeting and going over the outside agencies and individually approving the funding that was discussed during the work sessions for Christian Assistance Bridge. They have provided all the requested documents, and then you can see in the memo, the Executive Director, Kate Williams, stated how the funds would be used. In this case, Christian Assistance Bridge, during the work sessions, council requested $6,500 to Christian Assistance Bridge.
Okay, council members, any comments? I know I've touted the Christian Assistance Bridge, the work they do for some time now, actually assisting homeless, not just by giving them food, but giving them food, counseling, helping find jobs, and renew that self-esteem and get people back. I've read a couple of letters in public. So having said that, any comments?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Slonger. I just want to add what an outstanding job the CAB does for not just our community, but the extended community of Blythewood. I just want to give kudos to Ms. Williams. I reached out to her some time ago during the heat of COVID. There was a elderly lady that needed some assistance from trees that were hanging over her home. And I met with her, and they met with the lady. And although it was something that they technically truly don't do, which is tree removal service, our Blythewood business community stepped up to the pot with the CAB and took care of that for her. So I commend them on the work that they do. And it's my pleasure to continue to support them with my vote.
Did we have a second there? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded to continue the support of the Christian Assistance Bridge in Blythewood. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Again, we're postponing Mr. Ken Coleman's, my nomination of him to the Planning Commission. We'll do that when his family can be present. Now we move to part 6 tonight, open citizens comments. Do we hear of any or know of any at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to executive session where we will have receipt of legal advice relating to claims and potential claims by and against the town and other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I probably moved and seconded to move into executive session. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, request a 5-minute break.
Absolutely. With a 5-minute recess. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move to executive session after 5 minutes or so.